you think it's just you, so please forgive me. I'm left to be found. I'm left to be found.
Okay, so more Warframe. Now, with so many different ways to mod and set up your chroma, depending on your element of choice, whether it's fire, ice, toxin or electric, it's kind of opened up a whole new set of possibilities for one particular frame, and he is without a doubt now my favourite frame in the game. I've modded him for ice, so as a tank, and the amount of damage that he can soak up is absolutely amazing. I tried several different variations of builds since he got released, and after putting 3 Forma on him, I've settled on this particular build, which has allowed me to run 40 minutes on a tier 4 survival without any real problems. Now, I could have ran for another 5 or maybe 10 minutes if I got lucky, but at the 40-minute mark, heavy enemies were soaking up a lot of bullets, and I didn't have the full corrosive projections that you get with a squad of 4 guys, and it did get pretty damn crazy. I also found myself using a few energy restores toward the end of the mission due to the fact that the nullifier's bubbles kept clipping through walls and ceilings and basically knocking off my buffs, which I don't really think should be happening. If DE are serious about implementing line of sight on Warframes, then enemies need to be given it as well. Bubbles shouldn't be clipping through walls and ceilings and basically getting rid of our abilities. Now for the run, I didn't cast effigy once, so there is no crowd control involved, just straight up tanking and spanking while running and gunning. Now, the point of the run was never to see how far I could get either. It was more to see what kind of damage my chroma could take and how well he could survive when things got a bit hectic, which meant basically going toe to toe with enemies and allowing them to shoot you. So I will show you my build, and I'll tell you why I've modded it the way I have and why I haven't put on certain mods that some of you guys might put on. Now, also remember that this build is my own personal build. It's not the perfect build, it worked for me and it worked for this run, so I will be keeping it this way. Of course, like I said, it can be tweaked to give yourself higher shields or more power strength or more power efficiency, depending on what your own personal preference is. So like I said, I didn't use effigy, so of course I haven't modded for it. I've just modded for Vex Armor and Elemental Ward. So the build I settled on was one of pure duration and with some power strength and some survivability thrown in as well. Now, I've formed in Rejuvenation, Vitality and Steel Fibre. I've also added in a maxed Vigor. Now, the reason I've added Vigor over a maxed Redirection mod is that to reach the maximum potential of the armor boost from Vex Armor, you only need 400 shield to be burned through or to be basically removed by the enemies. Having a shield that goes higher than 400 won't actually give you more of an armor boost once that shield goes. So I settled for having 420 shield and the additional health from the maxed out Vigor instead of having, I think it was 740 shield from a maxed out Redirection and 740 health I think it was as well. And then for the Fury buff as well from Vex Armor, you only need to lose 100 health to reach your maximum damage increase. So once your shield is gone, the first 100 health drain is going to leave you dealing more damage. So a higher health will mean that you can afford to lose that 100 health and then in effect basically kill things a lot quicker. And now I've also added Narrow Minded, which is 6 levels in, a Prime Continuity, which is 2 from the top, and a Constitution mod for duration, which basically means my Vex Armor and my Elemental Ward both last for up on a minute. I think it's like 60 seconds or 61 seconds, which is kind of needed. It basically means that your frame is at its max survivability for up on a minute each time before the buffs drop off and your armor is reduced back down to normal and your damage output is also reduced back down to normal. At higher levels, you will notice that once these buffs drop off, you take a lot more damage once you recast them until they reach max again. So at that stage, you're going to see your health might be a lot lower before you get to your max survivability before it kicks in, which is why I've got the Rejuvenation Aura, or you could go for the Physique Aura as well, I guess. Now, I've also got a Prime Flow and Intensify for reasons, I guess it is obvious. Now, any of these mods you can change out or add another form and you could get Quick Thinking added in there, or a Blind Rage, but then you're going to basically lose some duration or efficiency, and I found it a lot harder to run 40-minute survival when I try to use Blind Rage instead of a Constitution. 1 minute duration seems to give me the best survivability possible. So like I said, the Narrow Minded of course is a personal preference, and it will reduce the aura from Elemental Ward, but let's be honest, it's got a really short range as it is, with only 12 meters being the basic standard range. And even then, your squad mates need to be standing right beside you to actually get its benefits, and if they run out of the range, then automatically they'll lose it. Now during the 40-minute run, the only real problem for me wasn't the enemies or the damage that I was taking, it was managing the life support so as I didn't let it get too low or get caught activating one by a moa or a nullifier and basically end up dead. Because of course Chroma isn't the fastest frame in the game, and to get between areas that had multiple life support in them, I found myself having to copter using the torpedo. Basically Chroma, like I said, is pretty slow, which is to be expected from a tank, so you're going to need a weapon that can help you copter and get between areas a lot faster. So that's my build as promised, and what you guys have been asking for since I showed my Chroma for the first time and told you what I was kind of going to try with him. Like I said at the start of the video, it is my own personal build. It is by no means the perfect build. Of course, some of you guys will have a different build, and that is of course entirely your preference as well. Feel free to modify this or do whatever you want with it. So hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below and let me know what way you're running your Chroma while you're going tank, whether you've basically gone one of the other elementals or whether you've built them specifically for effigy alone. And of course hit that subscribe button for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.